Hello, welcome to a game. Just finished Rapid Vienna 0, West Ham United 2. The Hammers have clinched top spot of their group and more importantly, into the last 16 of the Europa League with a game to spare. Gonzo.
Amazing, Gio, amazing. But before we get on to that, the one time I was quite relaxed watching that. I said we might get Euro West Ham. I think we got Euro West Ham, but we played at the sort of Euro pace. Even the goals were quite slow and we had that European vibe. Even a header took ages to get a goal. So, but only one thing roused me from my slumber on the sofa whilst I was enjoying it. Only one time I jumped and go, oh! And it was surely the one time that everybody else did, which was when young Perkins. Oh, come on. We were all willing that end, weren't we? Oh, so close. So close. Really good to see that lad come on. Brilliant.
We'll discuss Sunny in a minute. Fantastic achievement by West Ham to get through the game to spare. And because we've made it look so easy in the 5 games, I think it's easy to overlook the achievement that what it is. 2 years ago, we were relegation candidates. We were in the bottom half of the Premier League, trying to survive in the Premier League. And here we are now, going into the last 16 in the Europa League with the potential opponents, the likes of Barcelona, Dortmund, Atletico Madrid. It's a magnificent achievement by West Ham. You know, we don't have the last 16. We've still got one more game to go, but we don't have the last 16 till March. Now we can focus on the Premier League and the quarterfinal against Spurs as well. It's just an unbelievable achievement. You know, the performance tonight was very West Ham in Europa League performance, if you like. But let's discuss that, Gonzo. Until Yarmolenko scored, what did you make of the first half?
I thought we controlled the possession in the game without really creating much of a cutting edge. Really. That being said, Masuaku did play a lovely pass over for Bowen and. I think I didn't do an awful lot wrong. I thought he was in the centre forward's position and doing what a centre forward did. He just didn't kick it accurately enough at the goal, basically. When he maybe he's just slightly too short. If he'd have been a couple of inches taller, he probably would have been able to direct it in. But I didn't feel that we were constantly opening them up. But we were controlling the game at our tempo. I felt, particularly at the start, that the partnership between Sufal and Yarmolenko wasn't really working massively on. I felt Yarmolenko, which is key because he played such an important part in the game. I felt Yarmolenko was trying too hard, but he was out on the right and Bowen was central. And then they switched over, and I felt our fortunes changed at first half when they sort of switched positions. Really.
Yeah, I thought the first half was boring to some extent. I almost nodded off in the first half. You know, the room was warm, the lights were dim. It was perfect environment for nodding off, and I thought the game was relatively boring. But that's what we needed tonight. We didn't need 100-mile-an-hour football. We needed to keep it calm, It's what they call a professional performance. Like I always say, it's almost like a backhanded compliment sometimes, a professional performance. It implies that you've played without much razzmatazz, and arguably that's exactly what we've done tonight. We've got the job done without any frills, and also at the back defensively, it was comfortable enough. They had a couple of half chances, Vienna, but we certainly had a lot more. I thought we were in control from first minute to last. I thought for the first 10, 15 minutes of the game, we looked good. We looked sharp. We were just piling forward. They couldn't really deal with us. We were just lacking that quality in the final third. One bit we did get, like you said, Masuaku played across, and Bowen's in the right place, but this is where he's got to be taking these chances, Bowen, because this becomes a bit of a thing that happened in the second half again, where he probably missed another couple of chances, Johnny Bowen. He should have scored tonight, but I thought we looked relatively comfortable. I thought one or two players were playing really good. Most were playing okay, and I thought one or two could have been doing a little bit better. And one of those was Yarmolenko. And like you said, I do think he was just trying too hard. And you can't say he wasn't trying, because I thought at times there was one point he flicked the ball. The guy nicked it off him in the burst. He turned around and sprinted 40 yards after it. So the effort was there, just was lacking a little bit of quality, Yarmolenko. But he did get his goal, Gonzo. An assist for Vlasic, more importantly, to some extent, for the long term of West Ham. Ball in with his left foot, and there was Yarmolenko, which a comfortable enough header.
And it is more importantly. I totally agree, actually. I think we need something for Vlasic to get behind, something to give him confidence. If you've got anything about you, wherever you place of work, you want to feel that you're contributing. And, it's a bit like being a salesman in a sales team and you reach your target, but you've not made a single sale. Can you really join in the party? Not so much. So it's important for him to get an assist. It's important for him to to feel like he's contributed, and it was a good assist. I thought it was a really weak goal on their part. Masuaku had the ball, and I mean, there's no way Vlasic should have had that much space. But I didn't feel this is a motivated team, Rapid at all, by the way. And you could see that because the team they put out wasn't there, particularly all their best players weren't in it. Space there, but I do think with his left foot as well, I thought he clipped the ball up really well. Centre back won't be that happy, but I did think it was a textbook header actually from Yarmolenko. Really just was a flamboyant header, wasn't it? It's funny to say that a header can have flair, but it sort of did. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't a Dawson header, was it? It was, I liked it. I thought it was a good goal.
2-0, just before half time. A romantic goal, Gonzo. I like this one. But anyway, Yarmolenko goes up front. He's involved in the first goal. He's up front now. Bowen's on the right, and he gets brought down for a penalty. And up steps Mark Noble to get his goal in European football for West Ham United.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. The first one was flair. The second one was romance. So yeah, we had it all really, didn't we, tonight? To be fair, so I was.
That sounds like me on a Saturday night, full of romance and flair.
Flair and romance. Flair on a dance floor, and that's just his trousers, by the way, and romance later on. Absolutely. Well, look, I mean, Noble. I think that's 2 redemptions now, we'd have to say, since his little sort of mishap against Man United, because he's obviously stepped up and scored the first penalty in the League Cup shootout, and now he's gone. And that's a really important goal. And this one, again, it's an important goal. It's a penalty that really sealed the deal, didn't it, tonight? Stopped any hope that Rapid might have had of coming back and getting back into the game. So we're all pleased with him. I think the commentator got a bit carried away at that point. Oh, imagine Mark Noble lifting silverware for West Ham at the end of the season. But I get the sentiment very much so, and it was a good moment.
Speak for yourself, Gonzo. I was imagining it as well for him. I almost had a tear in my eye watching that. I was really nervous actually when Mark Noble stepped up. Like usually, because of that Man United penalty, you're sort of a little bit nervous for him. You think, well, we'd probably have gone on to win the game anyway, because it's Mark Noble scoring in European football, and he'll probably play the next game, but there's a good chance we won't see him in the last 16 onwards. You'd imagine it'll be Rice and Souček from then on in. So it's almost like he's got this penalty and maybe 3 more halves of European football to score a goal if he's going to do it. So I was a bit nervous for him. I thought, oh, please, mate, just score. Just please score, because it'll almost like overshadow the victory to some extent. As a Mark Noble fanboy, it would be a bit of a downer on the win. Then Mark Noble's missed a pen and not scored in European football for the club. A very romantic moment. I thoroughly enjoyed it, seeing Noble score for West Ham European football. But anyway, Gonzo, because we're halfway through speaking about the match, it's time. We're speaking about flair. We're speaking a little bit of a romance. Would you like to see some?
This holiday season, take 25% off during Manscaped's Black Friday sale. From grooming gifts that will make him smell incredible to skin-safe trimmers that will have him feeling smooth, you can find the perfect gift for any man on your holiday shopping list. So what are you waiting for? Make sure Manscaped is under your tree and your stockings are stuffed full of great gifts. Go to manscaped.com today and save 25% off site-wide plus free shipping.
There you go, Gonzo's buzzing tonight. It's not just about West Ham winning, it's the Lawnmower 4 as well, as he's getting ready for his Saturday night.
Oh, something was certainly Perkins up then, wasn't it? Let's be perfectly honest with you. Look, we're not just promoting this stuff. We've actually got this stuff. One of these goes up your hooter, one of them doesn't. Don't get it wrong, but no, seriously, it's 25% off on Manscaped. As Geo said earlier on, we've had a Hammers Chat code for ages for you, but we didn't want to promote it up to now because the Hammers Chat code is 20%. Right now, it's 25% off website-wide. Go and check it out, manscaped.com.
And free shipping on everything as well. So get online, links in the description. Have a little look around. Gentlemen, look after your package. Make it look good for your lady. Get involved. Links in the description. 25% off everything for the Black Friday deal and free shipping as well. Anyway, back to the football, Gonzo. The second half, the highlights were almost the substitutions. I think there was 2 of them, and I'm going to speak about probably the least exciting one of the 2 first. Alex Kral came on for a rare appearance. I thought he looked all right.
Well, he did a nice turn, didn't he? That I noticed before that, though, Gio. Can I just say, I thought what changed it in the first half was Yarmolenko and Bowen swapping round, and actually, as soon as Yarmolenko went to centre forward, he scored with a sort of target man centre forward's header and won a penalty for us. Oh well, of course, that's a goal and winning a penalty is not good enough for David Moyes, so he swapped him back round again for the second half, which I found quite bizarre. I've got to be honest with you. But anyway, yes. Anyway, he obviously did it to see out the game because he felt Bowen would put in more of a shift up front. Crowd didn't look bad at all actually. So yeah, be interesting to see how much he does feature. But there was certainly no loss of momentum once he came on, because I do think Souček didn't have a bad game at all actually, and I think one of the reasons why the centre halves had an easy game, really. The centre halves weren't overly troubled. Was I do feel again Souček was mopping up well in front of the back four. The fact that he's now become a defensive midfielder rather than what he was last season's a video for another day. But yeah, I felt Krau came on and continued the good work.
Yeah, I thought he looked good. I thought he put himself about a bit. He looked neat and tidy. Bit of a not a big opportunity for him, really, but it was a opportunity. I thought he's done himself no harm whatsoever. And it probably poses the question more, which is why haven't we seen him more often? And that's what he's got to showcase. But again, and I know this sounds really bad, but it does feel like it was an easy game for a crowd to come on to and look good in. Vienna didn't have much about them at 0-0, never mind 2-0 down in the game over. However, the second substitution that we're going to discuss, we'll discuss the second half in general as well. There's just a few missed chances, and that was about it. However, Sonny Perkins, 17 years old, Gonzo, came on the pitch, nearly scored with his first touch as well, but a big moment for him, and he looked all right. In his brief glimpses, he looked decent.
Well, let me tell you this much: if actually, I was gonna say Odebeko, and then I'll speak to someone else. If Odebeko actually ran round and put in a shift like that, he probably wouldn't be on loan at the moment. I'll say that much, because on the two occasions I saw him in the team, he didn't look overly interested. Header aside, and I loved it. It was the first thing I mentioned in this video. The header was fantastic, but he kept on putting himself around. He put in a massive shift, and he was willing to do the stuff that David Moyes is going to want to see as well. And actually, I couldn't help but think of old Sebastian Haller, who's doing so well elsewhere. And well, actually, if he'd have done that when we didn't have the ball, he'd probably still be here as well. So look. How good he is, I don't know. Apparently, he's meant to be very, very good. I hope he gets a start in the next one. I was delighted to see him, and I was jumping off the sofa with that header. Honestly, it was the most animated I was throughout the whole game, because I was I think because we both expected the win, as we said in the preview, and because there was the controlled nature of it and everything. I was pleased when Yarmolenko scored, but I expected him to score. We know exactly what score we expected, and that's what we got. But I wasn't expecting him to come on and that header. But I was absolutely buzzing for him, and I know everybody else watching this video was thinking the same thing, which was getting the ball, give him the ball, everyone give him the ball. And I was really pleased to see that Soufal tried to tee him up, and then later on, the fornicator tried to tee him up as well. I thought that was really good, really nice to see.
I thought he had really good movement, to be fair, and not just for the header. There's one point when he sort of was involved with Ben Rama, and I was out on the left, and he sort of gave it to Ben Rama. But what impressed me was what he did after that. It was he almost reversed immediately into the middle of the box. He gave it to Ben Rama and thought, well, I'm going to shift into the middle of the box now, because that's where I'm needed. And the ball never came in, but he was there in between the two centre-backs, lurking around in the right position. I thought, this is what we need. We need a little bit of this. And it was exciting. Maybe we are looking too much into it because it's at the end of the day 17 years old, but why not? It's a good time to be a West Ham fan. We should be able to enjoy a 17-year-old making their debut for the club. When he was born, when Mark Noble made his debut for West Ham United, Sonny Perkins was 6 months old, and tonight he just shared a football pitch with Mark Noble for West Ham United in the Europa League as we qualify for the last 16 of the Europa League. It's a tremendous achievement. The 10th player that David Moyes has given a debut to at West Ham United since December 2019. That's the 10th youngster that David, from the academy, that is, not just Vlasic doesn't count in this. 10th player from the academy that David Moyes is given a debut to at West Ham United as well. But Gonzo finished 2-0. What did you make of the second half in the game in particular?
I felt Rapid, ironically enough, weren't Rapid. I felt they lacked energy. too many flicks from us. I got to be honest with you, a few too many flicks, and it sort of kept on surrendering possession. But it was too easy for us, and I think that's why we started doing, sort of silly things, really, more than anything else. But it was incredibly comfortable. It's not the first time we've seen that this season either. But this as we said in the preview, Euro West Ham. We got Euro West Ham today, and. But what I was really pleased with was the first round of substitutions, which was, if you didn't see the game, it was Lanzini for Fornals, it was Bowen for Benrahma, and it was Král for Souček. That wasn't the time for sentimentality at that point. It was 2-0 at the point that Moisey made those substitutions, but it was a case of, because they had just brought on two of their better players, Rapid, at this point. It was Moisey saying, okay, well, I see your substitutions and I raise you my substitutions. And it was just enough to give us a little bit more impetus with, I felt particularly with Benrahma coming on, actually, in terms of the attacking. Just someone that was going to run at them in the attacking. Massive could run at them pretty much all day. But Benrahma did it in and around the box, which was enough just to say, for David Moyes' messaging, just to say, I'm taking this seriously. We're going to win this game, and we're going to win it maybe even more than 2-0. I was really pleased to see that. So, the second half, and we obviously all enjoyed the last 15 minutes for reasons that we've just explained.
Lanzini got subbed off along with Souček and Bowen. Would I be reading too much into it, or do you think that's an indicator of his importance to David Moyes' plans, perhaps?
I think I felt exactly the same thing. I'm sure lots of other people did as well. Controlled the game, didn't he? Really, and it's we were worse in that particular department in the pocket, if that's what you want to say. Where Lanzini was playing, we were worse off once he went off the pitch, but obviously we were better off in other areas, sort of thing. I thought exactly the same thing, and you'll have to. Everyone will have to tune into our Man City preview, won't they? But I've certainly, I know what team I'd like to see, and I know what I think David Moyes might be looking to do for that game.
Yeah, the second half, I thought it was straightforward from us. I thought the goal from Noble just before half-time, I think it just almost killed Vienna's hopes whatsoever. I think at 1-0, I think the manager goes in at half-time, might bring their better players on at half-time instead of halfway through the second half. He kicks them up the arse a little bit and just gets them fired up for the second half. Even if they don't score, they might have made the second half a little bit tasty. I thought in the first half, there was one or two, not meaty tackles going in, but there was enough aggression there from both sides to say, oh, hello, got a game on our hands here. There was none of that in the second half whatsoever. They just weren't interested at all. We got the job done at halftime. And the second half was all about just getting ready for the weekend's game, with no injuries, no silly cards or anything like that. From both teams, that is. I think they gave up. I think we should have scored more. I think we should have scored in the second half. Though Bowen missed a really good chance. Souček missed a really good chance as well. Yarmolenko played him in. He's got to be scoring that. He gets that chance against City on Sunday. He's got to hit the back of the net all the time in the world to pick his place. And I know Perkins had a really good chance as well, but it was literally his first touch. It's a bit different when you've just come on and you're 17 years old compared to
and you've not cost 20 million. Yeah,
I think there's a big difference between the two. But a couple of players, take your pick, Gonzo. Speak about them. Who would you like to talk? Well, actually, I'm going to ask you about one. What about Vlasic? Pleased for him. Bit of end product there for him. And I felt his tail was a little bit more up once he'd done that. At the very next time after his assist, he got the ball. He looked excited. He tried to do something. He did a little spin, did a little turn, and drove at them. Look, I mean, we're a long way off where he would want to be. I don't want to paint that as some masterclass performance from Vlasic. I don't think it was. But I said before, I really like his application. I like his attitude. So I wasn't asking for much today. I said it in a build-up. A goal. I didn't even say a goal. I said an assist or him to hit the bar or just something. And so it's baby steps of him. I don't think you're going to see him come on and run the game. I just don't. I really don't. So I thought it was good and bad in his performance, but he comes away with having worked hard and with an assist, which will do him the world of good, because he'll just feel like he'll go into training tomorrow, if there is training tomorrow, and he'll feel like one of the boys, I thought he played really well, actually. It's a step in the right direction. Another good performance by him. Was he man of the match? No, probably there's one or two other West Ham players I'd pick ahead of him, but he influenced the game well. And actually, I thought in the first half, between him, Bowen, and Yarmolenko, I thought if anyone's going to do something here, it's probably Vlasic. Could have scored in the second half had Ben Rama squared it for him. He's there in the 18-yarder unmarked, and Ben Rama went for goal from a tight angle. It was a bit selfish from Saeed on that occasion, but I thought Vlasic had a really good game, actually. I was happy with what I saw. And I think worst case scenario, well, funnily enough, Yarmolenko's going to score. Let me say worst case scenario is probably David Moyes' first substitution on Sunday, perhaps, if we need a goal, despite Yarmolenko scoring. But anyway, other players, sorry, take your pick.
Yeah, look, just on Yarmolenko, then, like I said at the start, I did feel he tried a little bit too hard. I think he's desperate to score the curling left foot shot into the top corner, and I think he'd like to do a little bit more. But let's say class is permanent, and you saw that with basically what he added to both goals. I thought the fullbacks had a different job to do today, largely because of how Rapid played, and felt Soufal just kept getting better and better throughout the game as well. Once he found his feet, I felt once he had to deal with the fact that he was probably swapping partners in terms of Bowen and Yarmolenko. I think as he got to grips with it, and then they started to click a little bit, Yarmolenko and Soufal. So I thought we saw a better version of Soufal as the game went on, which I was really pleased with. I think Masuaku is a lot easier to watch once you accept he's not a defender. And if you can accept that, and if you can accept what he doesn't do, he's got something that infuriates me, which is when a cross is coming in, he doesn't try and block it. He jumps up, and when the ball goes underneath his feet. But anyway, that's not going to change. Actually, in terms of carrying us up the pitch, I thought he had a really good game. I thought his technique. I thought he posed threats. 2 really good crosses in the first half. Moyes having none of it though. Moyes will still get him up, and I'd be surprised if he plays here next season. Souček I've spoken about. I thought Noble had some really good moments in the game. Actually, I did worry after his first. Did you see the first corner? We got a corner. And I thought, oh no, Noble's taking it, and then I didn't even clear the first man. I've got animated then. I was shouting at David Moyes. I'm sure he couldn't hear me. But I was saying, I could have told you that. We all could have told you Noble to do that. Sort that out with you. But actually, I thought some of the more inventive passes that were played during the game were Noble as well, and I thought he led the team really, really well tonight. Actually, and of course got the goal, Geo. So lots to be pleased about. So, some players, including the centre backs, didn't really need to get out of second gear, so it's hard. I tell you what I did like. Let me say this. Sorry. What I did like was how high we pushed up the pitch and how we're clearly comfortable with Areola being a sweeper. So Areola will come out and stand in advance of the D. I saw this on a couple of occasions. This is not something that I see us doing very much. But then when the ball went back there, we're quite comfortable for him to have it at his feet. So this is really interesting, really very, very different. So I feel how we play. I don't just mean in terms of ability with Fabianski, but how the defence and the team will trust the goalkeeper with a ball at his feet, right and left foot, actually. So I thought that was really interesting. Look forward to seeing a bit more of that, actually.
Jared Bowen had a good game and a bad game at the same time. I thought, finishing aside, I thought he was fantastic. I thought his movement was really good, worked really hard. But then when you could the finishing, I thought his finishing was poor. He could have had a hat-trick tonight, Bowen. He just seemed to be very wasteful on occasions. There was that time when Lanzini got on the edge of the box, gave it to Bowen. He took a shot. It came back to Lanzini. He gave it back to Jared Bowen. And he does fantastic. He takes it around like 3 players. And then it's just the goalie to beat. And it's a bit of a lucky save. It almost goes under the keeper, but it gets tangled up and the keeper is able to grab it again. But you just think, when you are Jared Bowen, which is A, you've been put up front, but B, Ben Rama, Fernandez and Antonio's come out the team. Only Bowen has stayed in. You sort of need that person to step up a little bit. Whoever it is, when you're the first choice player left in, you need to step up. And I thought he had like I said, he had a good game. But I just thought finishing, I thought it was a little bit poor, actually. For a guy that scored 20 goals in the championship, you wouldn't think it sometimes. If he's just that little bit better, Geezer would be like, he'd be ready for Liverpool. I think his lack of finish is probably what's stopping Jurgen Klopp coming and getting him from West Ham, actually, because his conversion rate is just not quite good enough for us. And I thought tonight he was a little bit poor in that aspect, but every other element of his game, I thought he was absolutely terrific. I agree with you at both fullbacks. I thought Soufal, it's caused me a bit of a headache ahead of our preview, actually, because I thought against Wolves, I thought Ben Johnson, when I saw Johnson play against Wolves' game, I thought that was the first game I've missed Soufal since he's been injured. I've been happy with Johnson. I still was. I thought he played okay against Wolves, but offensively, I think we missed him. And the more than used, the first time I thought could have done with Soufal today. Tonight, I watched him. I thought could really have done with Soufal against Wolves on Saturday. I thought he was really good. I thought he got forward fantastically well. And when I said I thought in the first half, I thought in particular, we ducked out of a couple of 50-50s, and Soufal was one of the ones I thought pulled out on occasions. But I was okay with that because I thought that's the right thing to do. There's no need to risk any stupid injuries or stuff like that. Just manage the game. And that's what we did. We didn't have to try that hard today. We barely got out of first gear today, and we got the win comfortably. But I thought everybody played well. I don't think anyone played badly. Like you said, I thought Noble had a good game. It was a bit of a breeze, though. I thought it was an easy game for a lot of our players. It was not a difficult opponent to play against tonight, but that is, in a way, a compliment to West Ham. They made it look easy, and they made it difficult for Vienna to do anything they wanted. Gonzo, any final words? And can I get your hammer of the match, please?
Just what I said before. It's just a magnificent achievement and something the team can't. The team have got to get ready for Man City. And I understand that. And that will be the messaging from David Moyes. They'll be saying, right, forget about that now. Us as fans, we're not playing against Man City. We're not going to training. We're not doing anything. We're going to work and we're going down to Tesco and stuff like that. So for us, I think it'd be nice to take a couple of days to actually bask in the glory of what we've achieved. I certainly intend to do that because it's been a crap old few years at West Ham, it has to be said. So let's, it's brilliant. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm sure everybody else is as well. Man of the match. Do you know what? Oh, I think, my word, I'm usually prepared for this. It's actually quite a tough one today, I think. I don't think there's a standout one. I'm going to give it to the guy I feel that I wanted to see on the ball all the time, and I'm going to give it to Manuel Lanzini.
I was going to give it to Lanzini, but I feel bad now because when there's that standout like tonight, I like it when we pick different players, but I was going to pick Lanzini. That's why I've not mentioned him. I thought he just looked class at times. I thought he was quite calm. And at times in the final third, I thought we were a bit rushed. Believe it or not, Masuaku was the one that showed composure, which is not something I usually associate with him. But I thought at times when Lanzini got the ball, we just seemed to just calm down a little bit. And the game got a bit more simpler when he was on. A nice pass there, a nice pass here. There was a couple of times he gave the ball away. There was one point he was through, even running down the middle of the park, and someone came flying in from the back of him, and he panicked a bit, and his pass was a bit crap, and he jumped out of the way, and you could turn around and say to the referee, what about this geezer? And you could see the ref like, well, your pass is crap. It's you that done that, not me, not him. He got out the way of the contact, but I think Lanzini had a really good game, actually, and he looked frustrated to go off, but actually, like I posed a question to you earlier, I think it's a good thing. I think this is Moyes' way of saying to Lanzini, I'm taking off my two most, read the room here, I'm taking off those two for a certain reason. I'm taking you off with them as well. There's a reason I'm taking you off. There's a reason I'm leaving Yarmolenko and Vlasic on the pitch for a little bit longer, and Masuaku and even Soufal are getting a little bit longer. There's a reason for that, and there's a reason I'm taking you off.
Look at the three that came off at that exact time. Yeah,
I'm looking ahead of Sunday. I thought he was really good. And at games like this, when the other team may drop back a little bit, you need somebody who's just got that craft about them to open up the defence. And he didn't necessarily do that tonight, but he's got the ability on the pitch. I thought he played well. He wasn't 10 out of 10, but he was a comfortable 8 out of 10, like a lot of the other players. But fantastic achievement, as Gonzo said. And it'll go under the radar again. This will keep going under the radar. You in preview said it's been lost in the noise. And it still is, because tomorrow won't be about West Ham qualifying from the last 16. Tomorrow will be about Man United appointing a new manager. They're close to announcing the new manager. But good, let it happen. We'll keep going under the radar. We'll keep enjoying our success as a fan base and as a football club. And let TalkSport talk about Man United and stuff. I'm happy with that. But what a fantastic achievement this is tonight. Like Gonzo said, we can enjoy it. The players have to turn around for City, but we can just enjoy it. Yes.
A good referee, by the way. I don't say it very often. I don't talk about referees very often. Good referee. Let a lot go, let the game flow. Really liked him. Thought he was really good.
Anyway, Kimbo says the bird on the advert's the best of the night. Elbow wants the Manscaped video again. Frank saying that the Manscaped model was the man of the match. So,
was he talking about me when I had the two?
No, he's not talking
shavers at the
about.
end.
No, he's not talking about you with your Lawnmower 4 and your Weed Whacker, which currently got 25% off due to the Black Friday deal over on Manscaped.com, which comes with free shipping. He's talking about her.
This holiday season, take 25% off during Manscaped's Black Friday sale. From grooming gifts that will make him smell incredible to skin-safe trimmers that will have him feeling smooth, you can find the perfect gift for any man on your holiday shopping list. So what are you waiting for? Make sure Manscaped is under your tree and your stockings are stuffed full of great gifts. Go to manscaped.com today and save 25% off site-wide plus free shipping.
Do you know my favourite thing about that advert? I decided to do a social experiment on our viewers. Me and Gonzo have got a viewer gauge in the top left corner. It's above my head, essentially. We can see how much live viewers we've got. I played that advert. It's clearly the end of the video. We gained 2 viewers. It's the end of the video, but you all stayed because you knew, well, we know why you stayed. But anyway, if you enjoyed the review, drop a like on subscribe to the channel. Myself and Gonzo. We'll be back tomorrow with the Man City pay-per-view. We'll catch you in a bit.